Adhil, what's the scene?
It's done. It's confirmed. Here we go.
Hey guys, and welcome back to Salon Pass. We're back after a small break, and just like a certain Portuguese forward,
We're back.
we're back, we're back in the limelight. Oh shit!
Hopefully, we'll be more consistent.
Um, yeah, we'll be as consistent as Ronaldo soon. Um, yeah, so we're talking about the transfer market this week. How crazy has the transfer market been, Adil? It's been like probably the craziest one we've seen.
And we both agree that it's been the best transfer market ever.
Yeah, it's certainly got the most drama, I think. Uh,
And stars. It's like FIFA career mode on like season 5.
yeah, exactly. Um, so I think we should probably start on the Ronaldo transfer.
Definitely.
Um, yeah, so about a few weeks ago, Ronaldo's like he's not happy, and then he's not happy at Juventus. He's trying to leave the club. It was probably a tactic to get a bigger contract because his contract runs out at the end of next year anyway, well, at the time, and he was his agent George Mendes was offering him two different clubs, and at one point about two weeks, almost 3 weeks ago now. Uh, Real Madrid came out and said, Carlo Ancelotti actually came out and said that he wasn't interested in signing Ronaldo again, even though the agent and Ronaldo himself said there was probably some dispute to that. Um, yeah, and it looked like he was actually going to stay at Juventus for the next few weeks, and then all talks broke down amongst themselves, and City came into the midst, right? Remember what were you doing when you heard that Ronaldo was going to Manchester City?
Uh, um, it's like the Messi transfer for me. It's things that I know to a fact like it won't happen. Like there's always a bit of confidence in thinking, Ronaldo won't move to a club like City because a Man U made Ronaldo and Fergie and Ronaldo are like tight. I mean, the last thing Ronaldo would do, given the fact that he doesn't have the same problems that Messi had with Barcelona, Messi had to leave. Ronaldo has the choice of choosing another club, and I really didn't think that he would ever move to City. There was a slight chance I was thinking, okay, maybe Man U would go for him, but never City.
It was really close because what happened was George Mendes offered him to the two Manchester clubs, and United at the time weren't really considering him. They weren't really looking for another forward option or a poacher because they had Cavani, they had Marcia, and Greenwood's starting to play in that role now as well. In fact, he's starting as a striker today anyway. Um, so yeah, it's and then City responded, I think, and they said, "Okay, we're interested because they really do need a striker." And yeah, in the end, United came back all guns blazing and signed him. I do think it was definitely a bit of a ploy to get United interested again, offering him to City as well. Um, I feel like that was more of George Mendes doing than Ronaldo actually being interested in going to City. But you never know what's gonna go, what
But
happened.
I have like, are you happy that Ronaldo's back?
Um, yeah. If you haven't seen my reaction,
Yeah.
who's not like on the group or whatever. Yeah, it was pretty big. I think I was more relieved that he didn't go to City. I think.
True.
I think
But-
just the fact that we got him over City made me happy. Because I didn't really care if we got him or not, I think.
Okay, yeah. I mean, y'all really need a CDM. Apart from that, I think your team's
Yeah, I think
good on its own.
we have bigger issues.
Yeah.
Just that I think this is good. Like this is definitely a positive, more of a positive than a negative, obviously, because he is even though he's 36, he's got so much experience and he's a really hardworking player. So it's as someone who can come into the club and set an example for the younger players, I think it's pretty good. And I'm pretty happy that, like Greenwood and Rashford, who grew up watching this guy, even Bruno.
I think most of them grew up watching
Exactly, right?
Lingard. Yeah.
And I'm happy that they can like train with their that. I think that in itself is a motivation, I think, to do well and to give everything they have for the club.
But how much do you think it would affect the development of Greenwood or Rashford
I think
up front?
I think it's good. I think like it's only a positive for them. Because
Playing time.
I think playing time wise, I still think Greenwood's going to start with Ronaldo in a front two. Yeah, so like we can move on to what we think the lineup could be with Ronaldo in the team. I think given how Oli has switched into his system in the past few days, it's going to be Greenwood and Ronaldo up front, probably in a 4-4-2 that switches into a type of 4-3-3 or a 4-3-2-1, something like that. I think Ronaldo and Greenwood will play up front with Greenwood floating and Rashford and Sancho on the wings, Bruno behind in a number 10 position, and Pogba, wherever Pogba wants to play, honestly. Yeah, and I guess this brings us to the fact that we don't have a proper defensive midfielder. And you can see that against the teams that give us a lot of space, a lot of ability to move through the pitch, McTominay and Fred are a good fit, right? Because what they do is they create this little pocket and they occupy this space in front of the back four, and they can help move the ball forward and backwards in a counter, and they can also stop counters. So I think, but what we see against smaller teams or like teams that don't afford United that much space is that even they create that pocket, and then whenever the other team sits back, it helps them absorb that pressure, and then nothing really happens. Something I see Oli doing in the future, or like something he's done in the past against a friendly against Everton, has been that he's played Donny van der Beek and Matic in that role, and Matic sits in front of the defense as a traditional DM, and Van der Beek collects the ball, plays a more dynamic game through the spaces and fills the spaces. He's much better on the ball than both Fred and McTominay, I think. And he gets more from the players around him as well and connects the play better. So I really hope Oli sees that, because I don't know if we'll actually get another DM before the end of the transfer window. Yeah.
Wouldn't playing Donny and McTominay solve the problem?
Yeah, I think it would. Like instead of Matic, as I said before, like McTominay can play there as well. I just hope Oli thinks about it. I think they're perfectly fine with that system against teams that sit back and defend against us, because at the end of the day, it's just a creative problem, right? They're trying to get through that attack, and they can't do that when you have the likes of Fred just passing between the right backs and the left wing. He gets the ball from the right back and he switches to the left winger, and he doesn't really create the through ball space, and he doesn't occupy space between the other players to create chances for the forwards. So yeah, I think Donny could probably replace him there and play a better role in the attack, at least against the smaller teams or like the teams that sit back. And I think Ronaldo plays as a poacher and up front. This would probably hinder Martial and Cavani's chances, I think, more than any of the front 4 or 5 players that we have, because I know Diallo is going on loan.
Cavani is anyway like a fringe striker, right? He comes in when
he comes off the bench. He was never, and he's probably going to leave at the end of next year anyway. And he's not going to play a lot of games as well, by the look of it, this season, because he's going to go to the national team, and he's going to have to quarantine and all that stuff. So
what's happening with the? I saw the messages, but
yeah,
what
so
is
like the PL, the Premier League came out and said that they're not going to let players who have to travel to red listed countries. So red list country is a country where you have to go and stay in quarantine for about 2 weeks, 14 days, something like that, and back and coming and going and coming back again. So that's around 4 weeks of doing nothing basically, and then play the international games as well for the qualifiers and come back. That's about 8 to 10 games, I think, that they'll miss. So if they do go, yeah. So the Premier League did come out and say they're not letting players go, but most of the players are gonna go. I don't know how that's gonna work.
Salah is staying back, right? He's not gonna leave.
I think he is, yeah. But like they haven't really put their foot down on it. So like I don't really know. Like I feel like if the players really want to go, they're gonna go. Because most of the Argentinian Spurs players are also going, and Cavani has also requested to go. So I think that's him out.
I guess it's just Martial who's gonna not see as many chances than compared to anyone else. Dan James is again more of like a fringe player. He plays the first 3-4 games and then he's on like a substitution basis.
Yeah.
Do you see him going to leave?
I think Dan James might be loaned out because Leeds and Palace were interested. If not this window, probably in January. If it looks like he won't be playing that much. I think Oli kind of values him because of his speed.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think that's all he's there for at this moment.
Yeah.
His ball progression is good, I guess. He's there to like distract.
He's like a Adama Traore for
yeah, it's sort of like that vibe. Like someone like Spurs would probably really love to get, like Nuno would probably love to get Dan James. Just like bombing down the wing and then because like Spurs in general, without Bergwijn and Son is okay, I guess, and Bergwijn is probably the fastest player there. They lack a bit of pace, right? When they can't.
Moura used to be fast. I don't know how fast Moura is now.
Moura when he doesn't start that much.
Yeah.
So Moura was pretty rapid.
Let's say Harry Kane leaves, then we have a chance of seeing Moura play a lot more often.
Yeah, I mean Kane's probably not gonna go this summer anyway, so that's done. But yeah, I think that covers the Ronaldo stuff.
Yes.
I'm pretty happy that he's back, honestly. I mean,
on a financial level, the amount of marketing that Ronaldo is going to bring to Manchester United is going to be crazy.
Yeah, but like in terms of shirt revenue, we don't really that shirt sponsors make most money off shirt sales, right? It depends on the kind of agreement they have with United. I think United has a 70%, 30%, or probably worse. So 70%, like for example, if you say 70% of the sales go to Adidas, and only 30% comes to United. So like most of the money is going
given away.
in terms of shirt sales, and like what United have from the bigger thing they have from the shirt sponsor is like the money they get from Adidas. Like they have over I think 10 years they have 20k 20 million a year maybe, I think. Probably have to get back to the numbers, but then that's 200 million over 10 years, and that then they make that back by like 2 seasons max. So that's I think on a financial basis, I still, but like for the club in general, I guess like you saw how much clout the whole announcement got anyway. Like, and that wasn't even the official announcement. Like that was just them saying, "Look, we signed him." And then, there's gonna be a reveal video. There's gonna be Ronaldo like saying something about it as well, because he hasn't commented anything about it yet. So there's gonna be.
Yes, they should have done the Jadon Sancho video for Ronaldo. This is my home. This is where I built.
That was like I don't know. Like I don't have faith in the reveal videos anymore. Honestly, the Bruno one was nice. I think.
The best is what they did for Varane. I think they should just do that for Ronaldo.
Then he just like randomly came up into the ground.
Yeah, that was it.
That was pretty good. Like I felt like they were gonna do that anyway, because they were like, "There's no announcement video. We're just gonna bring him in." It's
next topic then. I
think see all these United fans who had like absorbed into the like the Homer Simpson meme where he just like goes into the
comes back out.
Yeah, like it's good to see these United fans come back out, like fans that were pretty dormant for a while. Not calling anyone out, it's just the thing.
What I hated more was all the Man U fans who shat on Ronaldo. And then,
I think you had to understand, like there was a lot of emotional baggage that was handled through the whole city. Like even I know I said like I didn't really care that he left personally, like because I said at the time, what did I say? I said even though he left, like I didn't really care about it after he left the first time or something. But then most fans had followed his career through Madrid, through Juventus, and like now that he's back, they thought he was going to come back to United, but now he's going to City, and there was a lot of emotional baggage, I guess, accompanied with the whole City announcement, and I'm guessing people were going to be mad. Like they were like, it's understandable to some extent as well why they were mad. Because football fans in general are pretty dramatic anyway, right? So
true, but media creates like
exactly.
Right? It's not even there, and like most of these Lankan boys were all like, "How can you do this? What is this?" And I'm like, guys, just calm down. It's all okay. But yeah, I guess so. I get what you're saying. I don't agree. I don't disagree.
Yeah,
but.
I'm not saying they were justified, obviously.
Yeah, they're not justified,
like
but
what they came out and said and stuff about it. Yeah. But yeah, it's good to see Ronaldo back at United. I think it's gonna give a lot of people motivation to do well for the team, I think.
Look, even as a general football fan, I would like to see Man U win the league title again. Because it's been a while. I would love to see.
Yeah, I don't really have my hopes up for the title yet. We haven't really been playing as title contenders would, honestly, even though we probably do have the personnel for it. Even without a DM, I think we could probably put up a title challenge, but in terms of the football that we're playing right now, probably not. But if I do see a change in the next few weeks, my opinion will change. So
usually it takes some time for Man U to kick in gears, right? Even with last season, that's what eventually happened.
Yeah, exactly. So you never know. Like, plus like Champions League is back. people are gonna be so in a way like the whole, even though people are complaining about like we have too many forwards now, we're gonna lose game time and stuff. It's the whole point of having more players is that you can rest players in smaller games and play the other ones in more important games, and having that depth in a team is what kind of leads you to a title. Look at City, look at Chelsea now. We'll get to that in a bit, I guess. And yeah, and even like look at Barcelona in like 2015, they had like Xavi coming in for Iniesta at one point. So like, yeah, it's all about managing your squad, and I think Oli is good at that. Even though I don't agree with most of his tactics sometimes, I think managing his players is something he's good at because he's very straightforward. He's not like Mourinho behind the scenes and all that nasty stuff. So yeah, I'm excited overall.
Touch wood, everything goes good.
So yeah, the next big transfer is probably Messi. We were gonna do a whole episode about this, and then Ronaldo happened. Ronaldo just decided to like fuck this shit.
I need the news.
Yeah, but this on its own was probably the biggest story at the time, and probably it still is the biggest story because like it was very unexpected. No one really expected it. Everyone was so sure he was going to sign the new contract. And what happened is that there's a salary cap. Unlike the Premier League, La Liga has a salary cap on how many players that can be employed by a team, right? I think the current cap is 600 million pounds. Not sure, bit of gray area. Because also I feel like it's different for different teams.
Yeah.
Depending on like how successful they are and like their budget overall. So yeah, and they couldn't fit Messi into his contract with the money coming in, and yeah, I think it was very surprising. What did you think, I guess, of the?
As a non-Barcelona fan, I was in denial even after the PSG news came out that he's joining. And even after the press conference, I was like, nah, this is just some act. They're going to be like, psych, Messi is signing another deal for another year or two. Because you don't see it coming. Like, you've seen that man in the Barcelona jersey for the longest time, since we were in school. So it felt really weird as a football fan in general to see him leave his club and go to another club, and PSG out of all clubs. I kind of get it, but I don't still like it.
I'm pretty mad that he went to PSG of all.
Yeah.
Relieved that he didn't go to City, but like I would have liked to see him go to City, I guess. As a football fan, to like see him link up back with Pep and play.
For me, to a certain extent, PSG feels like a retirement league for some players. Like when Beckham went to PSG, it was almost like a vacation for the guy.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
I think Messi will probably just do bits at PSG and like
For sure.
be like
the thing with PSG is they have to win the league. That's like their most basic requirement at this point. So there's a lot of pressure on Poch.
Yeah, I'm excited to see Poch and Messi link up. That's something that I'm looking forward to. Probably one of the best managers in the world, in my opinion.
I like Poch, but I think he likes playing live on legendary and not on amateur, is what I've noticed.
To the other one,
But at the same time, I had no faith in Tuchel when he came to Chelsea, because when he was the manager at PSG, he lost some very easy games. And then I was like, so like now that I see what Tuchel is doing with Chelsea, I'd like to see Poch do the same with PSG. And like you said, PSG have literally the squad depth to match any team. They have all the players they need. And with Messi, it's just like a booster for everything else.
I think, managing a squad of that quality and like full of all those egos is a tough job on its own, I think. Like when he first came, both Tuchel and Pochettino, when they first came, people were like, can they do this? And to some extent they did, right? But I think it's still a tough job. I think in terms on paper, PSG probably have the best chance to win the Champions League. I think that even if they don't, they're probably going to go very far and lose on like some stupid game.
Stupid something, yeah.
Like on penalties or something, because they got rid of the away goal now.
Yeah.
That's another thing. That's another thing that's like happened.
I never understood the whole away goal sometimes. It's a little confusing to like sometimes I understand.
Away goal was to like make sure that they didn't go to penalties, right? Like there's only one reason if they have the same amount of away goals, right? That they go to penalties. Even though that did happen a few times. And I think it was more to give away teams an advantage because home teams have a bigger advantage when they're playing at home, especially teams like Liverpool.
Not important. We're gonna cut this out anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
Oh, can you mute the WhatsApp thing? It's making.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's okay though. Like, I just realized as well.
I wanted to ask you if the notification sound keeps coming.
It's coming. But like, it's not that bad.
Oh, okay.
Cool. I can probably edit the ones that are there anyway. Even though like I think when I'm talking over it, you can't hear it, so it's fine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but yeah, anyway, because I think when you're talking, it comes in.
Anyway, with PSG, I have the same concerns that I had with when Chelsea bought like a ton of players in one transfer window.
Yeah.
The team chemistry. How do you work around 5 new players? I mean, Donnarumma as a goalkeeper, but still.
Yeah, no, I think they definitely needed Hakimi to come in.
For sure.
Poch really needed better fullbacks, and Poch thrives on having good fullbacks. And I was very surprised that he didn't get good fullbacks for the whole time he was there. So Hakimi coming in is great for them. Messi, I mean, Messi walks into any team and improves it, right? Yeah. So like, honestly, that's fine.
PSG play a 3-4-3 or do they play a 4-3-3?
It depends on the other big topic that we're gonna cover, right? Mbappe staying or leaving, right?
Right. Yeah.
But I think if Mbappe stays, he'll play a central role as a striker or like off the attack, running through the passing lanes. And he'll play up with maybe Messi and Neymar. I think that's literally the front three that they'll do, the best front three that they can get. And if he leaves, it'll just be Di Maria coming in and Messi probably playing as a false nine. I'm not too.
I mean, they've still got Icardi there, so they could.
Even though I think Icardi is close
to leave
or something.
I mean, he probably should. He's wasting his time there. I feel he doesn't play too much either.
Yeah, I mean, Icardi will probably come in. Even if he doesn't, he'll just come off the bench or something and play. I think who else came in? Ramos slots right in defense.
Yeah. So I think the problem with PSG is they have too many first team players that have to sit out on the bench. Like they could walk into. Yeah, I'd say confidently any team.
Again, like I think it's not a problem. It's more of a like.
Can you manage the ego?
Yeah, exactly. I guess that's when it becomes a
problem.
Troublesome, managing egos and like having players be mad about it. But like if they buy into the whole thing, they're like, so it's a long season. We're gonna play so many games. We're gonna have to stay on the bench a few times, and you sub in, you play when you can, and like we win together. All that stuff that Pep has been preaching at City. So all of that, like I think if they buy into that, they can be really good. And like having players to fit one role is not a bad thing, I think, for any team. Like it's like especially if you get injured, right? So like that's literally problem solved if you get injured. Yeah, I think Messi will probably score another ton of goals this season. So
How many do you think he'll score?
I don't think he'll score like
40 plus?
when like 2012 Barcelona levels. I think.
Close. I feel I'm thinking the same.
You think so? I think I don't. I said I don't think. Maybe
I
close.
don't think.
I don't know. Like he's probably gonna score 30 plus.
But I mean, that's like their base level at this point. If they don't score 30, something's wrong.
Yeah, like Ronaldo scored 29 in the league and 30 something last season overall. Yeah, I don't know. I'd say like 35 is a good mark to think of. Especially if he doesn't play as forward as people think he will. Like I feel like he's gonna make a bit on the back as well. Play a more refined role. Yeah, it'll be. I'm more excited about Champions League, obviously, how they'll.
For sure. I mean, this year's Champions League is one to watch for sure.
Yeah, especially the group stages.
Mm-hmm.
PSG City is going to be pretty lit. Yeah. So I think in terms of City, what do you think is going to happen? Do you think Ferran is going to play up top, Ferran Torres?
They need a striker, man.
I don't think they're going to get a striker though. Like probably not until Jan. My biggest worry is that Haaland's release clause activates in January. So.
And how much is that? 108.
That's like.
Yeah. That's not bad.
Yeah, it's also
a problem for you, right? Okay.
Also unfortunate for a lot of teams who are like they've gone in and gotten a striker and like now Haaland's I have a really bad feeling that like either Madrid or City are waiting for Haaland, and they probably are, and they're gonna get.
I guess.
Yeah, I think if Madrid get Mbappe, it'll be PSG that go for Haaland.
City for Haaland.
Yeah, I feel like it'll be City that go for Haaland.
Yeah,
that'll be.
I mean, he will choose City. I mean, he's dead. That was the last thing.
Yeah, he's more of a like people say he's a City fan, but he's actually a Leeds fan. He's grown up a Leeds fan, even though dad. Yeah, like his dad played for Leeds as well, but then I think he's grown up a Leeds fan. There's this like cool moment in an international match for he's playing against Northern Ireland and he goes to Dallas of all people. He's like, give me your shirt. And like yeah, he's definitely a Leeds fan more than anything. But like obviously like he's not gonna play for Leeds.
If Bielsa stays, you never know.
No, I mean, he's definitely not gonna play for a team that doesn't have Champions League or like a top 6 finish.
I mean, he's already dragging Dortmund along. I don't think he wants that responsibility for another season.
Yeah, I think January would be the time when he goes. Especially because
I mean, for the moment, City can afford to play around with their formations. They have enough and more players who can fit into almost any role if needed for Pep. So even if Ferran does play a false 9 role, I think eventually, is it possible for Jesus to kind of cut in and Ferran sort of?
I think over the last season and like through the season as well, we've seen Gabby move to like the right, and like he's playing a more winger role now, and I think he's gonna stick to it because I think
and it's working.
I don't think Jesus was like ever that prolific in front of goal. Like he was never at Aguero's level of finishing. Even though he's great at like making the runs, finding space. He's great at all that, right? But I don't think his finishing was ever that prolific. For him,
he was missing something, but he was there.
Yeah, it was definitely like he. All right. I think that brings us to Chelsea. How would you rate your transfer window? out of
Wait,
10?
11.
11. Oh, all right.
130 million profit, 97.5 million spent. Inshallah, Kunde and Saul coming in.
I don't know if Sal's gonna come in. I feel like Kunde is gonna come in.
I mean, they sold Zuma to get Kunde.
Yeah, definitely. They were waiting for like outflow.
Hmm. And life's good, but also a little worried.
Why are you worried?
It's a little too good, to be honest.
Yeah, because of yesterday, because of the Liverpool draw.
Like, even with that, like, I thought we'd get hammered, man. I thought after we lost a man, I thought we were gonna get
Tuchel is
battered.
very underrated. Like people think Tuchel is an attacking coach, but he's not really. He's a very good defensive coach. And it was proven by yesterday's tactics. Like he literally got in Kovacic and he just managed the whole game out. And your defense was just like
Even like
on
when
fire.
Chalaba came on, I'm like, what is he doing? But
Yeah, but
it's
Chalaba is he's a center back now, right?
I played. He brought him in for coaches. I think afterwards. I mean, he played well,
Yeah.
and I think the
Bought him
problem
in
was
for Jorginho. Sorry.
sorry.
He bought him in for Jorginho.
Right, yes.
I don't know had a great game, but whatever.
I even though Jorginho won UEFA Men's Player, like I don't like him. I don't know
Like
why.
Jorginho. I think Jorginho got more clout because of the Euros, more than anything. And he probably deserved to win player of the tournament for the Euros.
Yeah,
In my opinion, at least. He was good
but
for Italy. I don't know how good he is for Chelsea, but he's good. Like he's
I,
there. He
I'm
does
not.
his job.
I'm not a big fan, to be honest. He reminds me of John Obi Mikel for some reason.
Wasn't Mikel like great for you guys?
He
No?
was okay. I mean, he was. I don't know. I just don't like the player as like a player. I'm not a fan of Jorginho, even if he was our top scorer last season. But I really
Yeah,
don't
but
care.
that's like
Penalty.
um
So, which is why I really want Saul to come in because I'd love to see Saul and Kante play together, even if it's for a few
it's
minutes.
like Saul historically, like he's had his best seasons when he's played more of an attacking role. So like
Attacking.
he's dribbled through, and I don't know if you really need that type of player. Like you probably do, honestly, but then like it's not something that it's like another Ronaldo thing. But without like the 700 plus goals.
Yeah.
Um,
But I have another problem. Out of all our Atletico transfers, only Courtois and Costa performed. Felipe Luis was a flop. Morata, that was before Atletico, no?
that was
But like we got someone else. Atletico and Chelsea have had a few transactions, like quite a few, and not everything has worked out for the best. So,
I can't remember anyone else. I think that's it.
I think there's more outgoing than incoming players, but
Yeah.
I mean, I just want to see Saul in Chelsea. I like Atletico in La Liga. They're my favorite.
Saul's playing as a left wing back or something now. At the
Sorry?
moment, Saul's playing as a left wing back or something. At the moment, like
That's why he's like, I don't want to do this anymore. Because I think Simeone has completely given up on his four at the back, and now he's moved on to a 3-4-3.
really, okay. I haven't been watching much of Simeone.
That's what I kind of heard. So I think Carrasco and who plays on the right? Forgot.
Korea.
Isn't he a striker?
Oh, I'm not sure. I haven't watched Atletico play in a while. Probably.
But I still want to see. I want to see Werner and Lukaku play together. Werner brings in something off the ball that we really need.
But I feel like that's what he's trying to do with Havertz, right? Like he's playing Havertz in that role.
In that role, yeah.
Ideally, I'd like to see all three of them start, and then Lukaku off the ball, but I feel like that hinders what Havertz does to some extent.
Probably, I guess they could sort of switch and play because I want to see, because with Lukaku, man can't dribble, man. He's
Oh
terrible.
yeah, definitely.
He's terrible.
But can Werner dribble? Like I know he can, but like has
For
he
sir,
shown you that he can?
I don't I don't think so. I think Werner really works with dragging some players off.
Yeah, I think
And
he's. I agree.
I
Like
think our best dribbler, I think Kovac,
like
Kovac
that.
is a
That was
good.
his best position, right? Towards the end of the season last time, and
I was played the striker role, Werner played behind.
um, yeah, maybe he just needs more time to bed into the team. I guess. I do see probably when you move into a back four again, or are you already in a back four? You're already in a back four, right?
No, yesterday we started off in a 3.
In three. Oh yeah,
It's
still.
like a 3-4-2-1.
Yeah, okay. So
Yeah.
back three, yeah. So maybe if you move into a back four again, or like for some matches, I see
Yeah.
it starting. Yeah, it's
You know what I really wanna see? I miss the 4-2-3-1 formation. Like when Lampard used to play, like that was a formation that was most frequently used. Like Lampard and Ramirez, Mata, Hazard, Oscar. Like I miss that formation for some reason. Like I'd love to see it just once. But ever since Sari, it's like we've completely ditched the two holding midfielders.
I think ever since Conte, right?
Yeah, I mean Conte they just said fuck it to the back four and we went with the back three.
Yeah, like that Arsenal game, something.
But it was never the whole three midfielders.
I see what you mean. Like I see, like I think we spoke about this in a previous episode as well. Like
Yeah,
wow,
with I
Mount
think
is,
for the Chelsea episode when we had Joel and
like how Mount is like better off the ball as well. Defensively, it's probably why a lot of managers like him. Like he's got the most tackles behind Kante. Whenever then, since Kante doesn't play that much, probably Mount who has the most tackles in the team.
yeah.
Yeah, probably if Mount gets injured or something, things will look up for Werner. But I don't know.
Yeah, I don't want Mount to get injured.
Yeah, he shouldn't. I'm not saying.
But from all the clubs in the Premier League, who's had the best transfer window
in the Premier League?
Yeah.
No, Arsenal. Okay. No. I see Arsenal getting a lot of shit for having spent the most amount of money, but I do think they had the most amount of work to be done out of all the teams. So it's kind of justified that they spent money. It's just that they couldn't spend the money they spent on Ramsey on like a different player. Like it doesn't even have to be a goalkeeper. Like they didn't really need another goalkeeper.
And yeah, Leno was good enough.
Yeah, and even for like they're not playing Europa League, so they don't need a second keeper for cup matches. Even if they do, they're good with Ronaldo, right?
Yeah.
I think he's decent enough to start in cup matches. And even if he doesn't, Leno should start.
Yeah.
That's fine. I don't
think the problem starts with them paying 50 million for Ben White.
I think Ben White was always going to be that expensive, and he's not that bad of a signing. And getting like, I don't think they were going to get anyone else. Plus for a sleeper, like they were definitely not going to get Varane for like the price that United got him for. And they could have gotten someone younger, but I feel like it was still going to be around the same price.
But they could have done what Leicester did. Leicester lost, what's his name?
Maguire?
No. He got injured and they just went and bought Westergaard the next day.
Oh, right. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Is it Amate? No, Amate is still starting.
No, not Amate. This Fofana.
Oh,
Fofana
Fofana.
got injured, and then
Johnny Evans. Why isn't Johnny Evans starting? Is he injured?
I don't know.
He's so good.
But
Fofana got
like they have,
yeah, that was pretty.
but more than them buying Westergaard, I'm shocked at how fast they got him. Like Fofana got injured.
But I feel like he was on the way out anyway. I'm not sure. Westergaard. Yeah.
I mean, he's a good player. Bednarek's a good player. I mean, Saints have a lot of good individual players.
Yeah.
That thrive in other teams.
I think they finally have a team that can play like good pressing football again, like the way Hasenhuttl wants them to, and not get fucked. I think they have I honestly think that Adam Armstrong plays a lot better with Che Adams than Ings, because Ings is a different type of player, and this complements both of them. So attacking wise, I think they're set, and they can press really well now as well. So I don't know. Arsenal could have honestly,
spend the money better.
That money they spent for Ramsdale on a completely different player. They could have bought a new right back. They could have sold Bellerin by now and then gotten a new player.
Every season that talk comes up, Hector Bellerin leaving, and he doesn't leave. But I guess it's just, I feel like players are just unhappy.
I definitely think Arsenal don't need to sack Arteta. Like, I don't know if sacking Arteta will be the solution. It's more of like, this is the current quality of the team. They're not gonna win against City and Chelsea back to back, and they're not gonna like blow teams out of the water. If they do, it's good for them, but like, it's gonna be, it's time to like lower your expectations with this current team. Like, I'm not saying a new manager comes in and suddenly like this team becomes, I don't know, a fourth or a third. I don't think that'll happen. But like, if you have continuous improvement with this team, I think they can like eventually climb up the ladder. Probably not this season, but eventually they can.
I mean, we also forget that Arteta did win a trophy with Arsenal in his first season.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like, he's like, you can see that they can play great football. And you can see that he's got the makings of like a good coach, because like you can see that he learns from his mistakes. Like, like he would play 2 DMs or something, and then they'll get exposed on some other end, and he'll think like, okay, so this has happened. Like, if you see a coach like understand that, like see that process happening in his head and like make immediate changes, you know he's a good coach. Like he's trying to stay on top of things. I think it's not his fault. But I don't know if he can coach a good defense yet. They should probably find someone to coach that defense, because against City, what I saw is that they're just letting players run past them when crosses come.
Even the Chelsea game, the left was just completely open. Reece James was having a ball of a time.
Something like again, they don't have 6 or 7 first team players, and even when they come back, it's going to take time for them to gel with the new transfers, with they're kids, man. Like, they're not they're not experienced enough to play.
But they are talented youth. Like, I'm like Smith Rowe, I'm a huge fan of. And I think in due time, I think eventually this Arsenal team will work. Because even when I saw Lokonga play the Chelsea match, I think he was a bit troublesome in the mid.
Definitely.
And I think like Manu take like a week or two to start firing their engines. I
Yeah.
think this Arsenal teams needs a few matches to start firing their engines. And calling them a relegation threatened team is very early, and I
Yeah, I
think is a
think
little
that's just
overstated.
that's
It's
just
just a first,
has been
okay.
dramatic.
Apart from Brentford, Chelsea, and Man City, Chelsea's team is a lot stronger at the moment compared to Arsenal. Man City's team is like tenfold stronger than Arsenal at the moment, and just because you're judging Arsenal by the first three matches is completely unfair on Arteta. If Arsenal's management decide to say, you know what, we need to sack him, I'd say is a completely unfair route to take. And even the
What
fans
I
being so,
found really annoying. What I found really annoying was that fans just started leaving the stadium at like
yeah,
the second goal. And I'm like, sure, like you're mad at this team for not playing well, but like it's your team. No one else is gonna support this team.
support your team. Yeah.
And like, what are you doing? Like, stop being dramatic. Get back and sit down and suffer through it.
Well,
And
did
that
Arsenal play at
demotivates
home
the
or
team
play
as well.
away?
Sorry?
Did Arsenal play at home or away?
They played away. But still, like, that's even worse. Can you
Yeah,
like
exactly.
you come all the way to Manchester? You're going back
And leave.
in like 20 minutes. Um, yeah, it's just like that you could see, like, even though Arteta said like fans were unwavering, it wasn't like, I think it was bullshitting because like they left the stadium and you could see like in the players' faces as well. They just got super demotivated after the second goal and they just like kept letting in goals. Um, that's not how you support the team.
I think
But
that's when you need your fans more than ever.
exactly right. It's probably
And
gonna
forget
take
about the
you
fans who are there in the stadium. It's the keyboard warriors who annoy me more.
probably.
I get that Arsenal's had a bad start to the season, but like they played Chelsea and Man City back to back. What do you expect?
Yeah.
It's that's about it. Like you can't judge your team right away. Like give it some time.
Yeah, it's gonna take a few matches, and like you can already see, like they're playing decent. Like they played really well against West Brom, like a really good West Brom who are like ripping apart the championship at the moment, and they just like blew them out of the water. So like, yeah, you can't really expect them to beat City or Chelsea, but like you need to have faith in them that they're gonna beat other teams and they're gonna play well against other teams. For the time being, at least.
Even speaking of like, I mean, I consider Arsenal at the moment a mid-table club, and mid-table wise, I think Everton's transfer of Demarai Gray has paid off
Yeah.
so much. 1.5 million for the guy, and he
Yeah, I
scored
was
in.
surprised. Like, I honestly thought he left on a free, but then apparently not. Like, they got him on a transfer. Yeah, he adds like a lot of pace into that team. And he's always been like a decent finisher. So it's good for them.
I think after Rodgers came to Leicester, I think his chances dropped. I think
Oh
before
yeah,
Rodgers.
definitely. Because like Harvey Barnes came up.
So it was just unfortunate. And then Leverkusen, I thought like, you know, usually when the English player goes to Germany, they perform well because I expected a little bit from there,
Yeah.
but it didn't work out too well. But I'm happy that it's working out at Everton. So it'll be interesting to see what Gray does at Everton.
I think
I'm not a fan of
see
Iwobi.
what Rafa does, right? Rafa Benitez is back, and I think he'll have a good season. He's got a good set of players.
He did wonders with that Newcastle team.
Yeah, exactly. I was surprised when they
So
sacked him as well. At the time. So
I think it's yeah. Any other news that we need to?
no, I think that's all we can probably talk about because I feel like this is not the end of the transfer window, there's definitely going to be at least one more big signing. I think Mbappe to Madrid will probably get a big push in the next few days, or like in the next 2 days, because I think the window
It is closing in like
a day. Yeah, I think it'll probably be a big deadline day signing, and
But doesn't the Spanish transfer window close like a week after the English transfer
yeah,
window?
it's so muddy. Yeah, I definitely think the Premier League will probably finish in terms
Earlier.
of transfers. Yeah, I think it's done. And yeah, I feel like that's all we can.
I mean, I think Mbappe is the only transfer that needs to happen, right? In comparison to other transfers. Or even Marcel Sabitzer going to
Bayern.
Bayern. I don't
Yeah.
know why, but I get why on a career point of view, but
Well, he's gonna play with Nagelsmann again, right?
yeah. But
Um,
like the Sabitzer the striker, or is he like a Muller sort
like
of
a bit
role?
of he's a bit of an old like what am I saying? He's good at everything.
Okay. So I mean you could call him like a Muller.
He can play at left wing. He can play at center mid. He can play at strike as well.
Okay.
I feel like he wants him to play in a central midfield role or something like that. I feel like it's more about squad depth and all that, and getting someone familiar to in your team and all that. And he's like a great player as well. So his crossing is good. Balls in the box and all that.
But I mean Bayern's just Bayern. Bundesliga's coming home. I'd like to see them in the Champions League. I think Nagelsmann has the team to do what he needs to do to get a trophy.
Yeah, I think Nagelsmann is probably the best young coach right now. And like with Lewandowski, like have a good season. All right.
Yeah, sorry. Could you just repeat that because I was looking
Oh,
away and
I said Nagelsmann is probably the best young coach right now, and he's with Lewandowski in the team and firing, probably going to have a good season. He's definitely gonna win the league.
I mean, no question about it.
Champions League, probably, yeah.
What would you predict?
The Champions League.
Let's do a quick prediction. Champions League, Premier League, La Liga, the top
I don't know.
five.
Champions League is so hard to predict. Like, there's never gonna be the same winner every. I don't know. Except for like when Madrid played.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say United. I'm kidding. I think PSG, man. PSG might finally win it. But if Mbappe leaves, they might not.
Probably.
I don't know. It's gonna be an interesting Champions League because like there's gonna be so many players. Like every team has like a good player and like has a good bunch of players, right? So they're gonna compete really well against each other. So
Think a wild prediction.
But
You
you-
only have this video. I'm not gonna clip it and say, you know what, Durana made this prediction and it didn't come out well.
no, that's what James is doing. James is sick, by the way, guys. He's in a press. And
James is always James is the Dembele of this team.
this is like bad because he's not here and it was like slandering him. We miss you.
But because James is not here, we can talk about the No Way Home trailer.
Oh yeah. Okay, so spoilers. If you haven't seen the No Way Home trailer,
335 million people saw it.
yeah, exactly. So like you're probably not gonna well, like more spoilers for like what we're gonna talk about. And like if you don't want to listen to that, yes, skip to the end of the episode and then we'll say bye. But what do you think, man?
So you told me to check one more day out, and I did, and that mainly revolves around Mephisto, right?
Yeah.
And like ever since Loki, they've been talking about Mephisto.
Ever since WandaVision, they've been talking
Okay,
about
yes, yeah,
Mephisto.
WandaVision.
I was
Sorry,
so sure Mephisto was gonna turn up.
like
Um,
everyone is all, and like the Loki director was like, I don't know who Mephisto is, and I'm like,
it definitely looks like I feel like he was joking though. Like he was definitely like fucking around. Um, I think yeah, it's the story is definitely revolving around the one demo comic, and if you haven't read it, you should probably check it out. Um,
but it's such a
a lot of people,
controversial
yeah, it's a
comic.
very controversial comic. I think it lasts for like 4 runs, but you can probably
Mm,
get the whole thing somewhere wherever you find comics. A lot of people didn't like it. It kind of retconned Peter's marriage to
mm,
at the time, and a lot of things happened. It was after the Civil War comic where Aunt May died, and like
yeah.
it was like distraught about it. He went to Strange. Strange is like, I don't know what to do about it. This guy's like, oh, depressed about it. And then he finds Mephisto and he's like, let's do this. And then we're gonna bargain this for your life, but everyone forgets stuff. So it's kind of like they kind of go down that route, but like the whole multiverse thing is interesting. Again, like spoilers, um, huge spoilers. Yeah, okay. Please skip if you haven't watched it. Um, yeah, and Doc Ock is back. Which Doc Ock do you think it is? Like which version?
Say Doc Ock again.
Doc Ock, Doctor Octopus, in Doc Ock accent.
But I mean, if
Yeah.
Toby is coming back,
Mhm.
it has to be the same Doc that kind of drowned or whatever that happened in Spider-Man 2, right? Like it
Probably
has.
be drowned because that would mean
Yeah,
he's dead.
there was one post that said like when he was about to drown, the thing opens up and then he gets dragged to another
Yeah,
timeline.
it could be a thing. Yeah. It looks like what Strange is doing is like he's combining the different universes where the people don't know who Spider-Man is.
Hmm.
And he combines everything. And you can see like people are pointing out he's wearing the same suit that Tobey Maguire is wearing, or suit as in like suit and tie.
Same color as well.
Yeah.
And
colors.
those things aren't a coincidence knowing Marvel. Like those minute
Yeah.
details.
Or it could just be like a really big red herring.
Yeah.
Another thing that people are saying is that they deep fake and they think like it's actually Toby and not Tom Holland in that scene. But we don't know.
But yeah, I mean, like what they did with the Avengers Infinity War trailer, like the whole Hulk running, but then Hulk didn't show up in
They've
the.
done it before, right? They've done
Yeah.
they've added deleted scenes, they've made whole plot lines for the story where like they've just done bullshit. And it could be something like that.
But is this how? Do you think Venom will show up somewhere down the line?
People are saying so. He's definitely going to, because now like he's Spider-Man itself, like the MCU Spider-Man itself is a bigger part of the Sony universe, right? So he's definitely gonna show up in future films at least. So yeah, you never know what's gonna happen. Or like at least Spider-Man is gonna show up in future Venom movies.
Yeah.
And not the
Because
other.
Sony Spider-Man universe.
Yeah.
But there was this one video, one picture of Toby and Andrew in the suits. Is that real?
In the suits. Oh, Toby.
Like with the blue background and Toby in the suits.
But like you never know.
I don't trust the internet anymore. Whatever I see on like Instagram, I'm like,
Can't trust, like people have done like I don't know if I didn't know this was
People
a
are
thing.
so good with
You
Photoshop, man. Like with deep fakes
Photoshop.
alone, you could do world of wonders.
Exactly, right? So you never know until you're gonna watch the movie or until like they reveal something in the next trailer or something. I definitely think they'll probably do another big reveal in
Oh yeah.
the next
Even
trailer.
though this trailer was like 2 minutes or 3 minutes long, it didn't really give
Yeah,
too much away.
definitely. Like there's gonna be another big trailer, at least before the movie comes out.
You know
So
what I want to see? I want to see Ned as Hobgoblin.
that's a big possibility, right? That could happen.
Because I
Uh,
mean, even Hobgoblin's name, I mean, that is Ned, right? In the comics.
yeah, it's Ned Leeds. Well, in the comics, it's like it's Ned Leeds, but apparently he was brainwashed by the
Gosh,
actual Hobgoblin. But like he did have the mantle for a while. It's kind of like all over the place. Like Peter only finds out Ned is the Hobgoblin after he's dead. So like in the comics at least. So like
okay.
kind of weird. But
But
yeah,
I must ask you,
yeah,
is Flash bothering you? Like it bothers me so much to see Flash.
the show
No, no, like
or Flash
Flash
Thompson.
Thompson.
The show, yeah, but I don't know. Like he's blonde now from the trailer.
Yeah, but like,
It's nice that they're going comic accurate, but like I don't really mind anything honestly. Like, um, it's fine. I really like the Amazing Spider-Man's version of Flash the most.
hmm,
Um, the
that
like
was good.
the crew cut
But then
guy.
Uncle Ben died, and there was a whole
Yeah,
thing.
he's nice, and like it looked like eventually he could have done an Agent Venom story.
Agent Venom, yeah.
But yeah,
Now that the timelines, all the multiverse is all opened up, you never know.
probably.
Fingers crossed.
I feel like a lot of Fox characters,
Opportunities are there.
yeah, a lot of Fox characters will probably show up in the next
Even
few.
with the multiverse of madness, they're saying that
Yeah,
a Fox character will show up. Yeah.
yeah, but like you don't know. No one knows. These are all like rumors. We're not confirming anything. These are all. Please don't take out our podcast because of this, Sony. Like you're gonna ban about on this copyright claim when I wake up next morning. Um,
But just put it up. I know James won't even check the Salon Pass YouTube channel, so you can even just post it.
we'll just post something else. We're moving from football now.
Yeah. We gotta start monetizing. Football's not working out.
Yeah, we can. Well, yeah, we'll probably do this in the next few episodes, guys. We'll probably talk about something that's not football related. Right? Like it's gonna be completely out of topic, and it's whatever we feel like. Honestly, probably not when we have guests on the show, because that'll be a waste of their time. Uh, we're gonna talk about anything, food, movies, books.
At this point,
If you
this
want
is
to
like
hear us talk about something else, comment down below. But as far as I know, it'll just be just random.
it could be like good mythical morning.
We're gonna try out different foods.
Yeah. But yeah, we might completely ditch James too. You never know. Man never shows up. Better move away from him.
Toxic.
Yeah.
Toxic Mexican.
This
Toxic.
podcast is my weekly catch up with Durana. We might change the name. Name might stay the same, but this is my weekly catch up with Durana Premaratna.
Yeah.
All right then.
Yeah, I think that was a good episode. We're still not sure what's going to happen with the rest of the transfers. What's happened so far, it's probably been the craziest one so far, in terms of like star power just moving everywhere around. Thanks for joining in. I guess we'll see you next time. And
let's hope it's a short next time and not a long one.
Yeah, how long we this is a pretty long. Like we started off saying it's actually not too long, but like
No,
good.
I mean our break from our last video was what? The Euros.
Yeah, we've been going a few times, but like back.
We'll be back.
All right. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time.
See you. Bye bye.